Welcome to another episode of Time, Talent, Treasure Radio from Tejas Financial Group. Tejas Financial is a company that specializes in helping retirees and pre-retirees build purposeful retirement plans. Custom plans that not only help clients steward their treasure, but their time and talent as well. They believe that if you're taken care of financially, you go even further to make the family, community, and kingdom impact you truly desire to make, which is the ultimate purpose of wealth. If you'd like to set up a no-cost, no-obligation meeting with one of their financial advisors, give them a call at 222-4236. You can request a meeting at tejasfinancial.com or simply stop by their office on 19th Avenue Southwest in Wilmer.
All right, welcome everyone to another episode of Time, Talent, Treasure Radio, and I'm your new host, Ben Tejas. And if you've been a listener of our show for a while now, you'll notice that it's me now hosting this, and I'm sitting down with our advisors, our team, kind of talking about their strengths, what they bring to the team, and then introducing various topics for our listeners. So today, joined by Matt Hoekstra. So Matt, say hello, welcome to the show.
It's good to be here.
Is it really good to be here?
It is good to be here. You know, I used to get nervous about this kind of stuff, but when we really had to work hard on getting content, but I feel like content is just getting easier with our meetings that we're having, and we're just, it's been really, really good. So.
Yeah, I think, even sitting down today, we had agenda, we had notes. He says, these are things we want to cover. And you go, man, I just want to talk about people. I just want to talk about the people that we're helping. And of course, we would never share, actual names or real life examples. But when we get to sit down every single day and meet with people, we get, number one, now thousands of at-bats of seeing different things, sitting kneecap to kneecap with people who need our help. And knowing how this business started, that's what I loved. And one of the hardest things for me in the last couple of years is doing less and less actual meetings with people. And you said, man, I just wish we could just talk about some of the lives that we're changing. And we got a few things we do want to cover today on today's show, but I think that's the most important thing. And maybe introduce yourself to listeners a little bit, kind of maybe your background, how you got into this business, and then how you specifically use your skills to help the clients that we serve.
Yeah, so I started out, actually my schooling is from Bethel University in the Twin Cities, and I knew that I wanted to help people. I just didn't know exactly in what capacity. And so I got my master's degree in psychology and started out doing therapy with people. And it was good. It was really good training for me to just help people to learn how to listen, for one, and then to help people figure out how to solve problems. And over time, I gravitated, towards the financial industry just because there was a really good opportunity. And I think it was a natural fit. And people ask me, they're like, oh, that must have been a really big jump. And I'm like, it's really, really a lot the same. Now I've had my formal training. I've gotten my license, for
going on almost 10 years now.
My securities license, things like that. So I've gotten my training that I need there, and it's really interesting to just be able to sit and help people articulate what their problems are, and then help them solve it. So
and I mean the way that your skill set is applied specifically in listening, discerning, and then wisdom. That's really the business we're in. Yes, there's financial products. Yes, there's money management. There's work that we do and tools and techniques, right, that we introduce to clients. But at the heart of what we do, it is listening to what they need, right, and then helping them even sometimes know even what they don't even know that they need, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that's been fun. And just to be clear to the listeners, like you just said, you were doing therapy, and that was the first part of your career. I mean, you have your master's in psychology, correct?
Correct. Yep.
And had been doing counseling. That's not, just so everybody knows, it's not how we met. I've known you for 20 some years now. That's not how we met. Although I have seen a counselor at times. I think for people out there listening, it is something that we see ourselves at sometimes. There's so many times in meetings with clients, you get to know somebody really, really well. And in those meetings, I can remember my mentor, a guy named Ron Grusing, a CPA that had been in the business for 30 plus years when I first started working. He would say, Ben, there's some times that you feel like more of a counselor than you do a tax advisor or a financial advisor. And it didn't make sense at first. And then as I got into this business, I had more meetings. I figured out money and life events go together. It's every single major life event has some financial piece to it.
Yeah.
Right. So whether that is buying your first house, hopefully not a divorce, but death in the family, job change, all of these things that people go through, that's when we step in to help. I'm excited to tell more stories like that as we go forward. But maybe just one thing, Matt, maybe just a quick story, something that in the last week jumped out at you where you were able to tie somebody's life to their money.
Yeah, I have two this morning on opposite ends of the spectrum. My first meeting of the morning was with a client in their upper 80s and still living at home, starting to get worried about snow removal and lawn care and house maintenance and, trying to figure out what the next step is. Always kind of felt like they would be in their home, but really we started to explore today. So we're going through rates of return and we're going through income and we're going through taxes and we're going through, long-term care insurance and all this kind of stuff. And she's like, this is great. It feels like I'm fairly well set up, but my biggest issue right now is my home. And, we're in the process now of figuring out, okay, what is that next step? Do we want to move twice or do you want to move once? Do you want to go to a smaller townhome and then end up in an assisted living? Or do you want to go into kind of more of an independent living type place? And she's like, well, I just don't know that I can afford that. And we started really hammering down on the numbers and really taking those numbers off of the page and bring them into real life.
Man, I got to tell you, that's fun, right? I mean, being able to help this individual through that. And we're going to share the next example on our next show next week. But I think that's important as people listen to this show, really what we're about, helping clients steward their time, talent, treasure. And what that looks like is different for every client. Every client's got different needs, but that's at the ultimate heart of what we're doing here at Tejas Financial Group.
Do you need ways to help steward your time, your talent, and your treasure? If so, Tejas Financial Group can help. Now is the time to set up a no-cost, no-obligation meeting. You can do this one of three ways. Number one, give them a call right now at 222-4236. You can request a meeting online at tejasfinancial.com, or you can just stop by their office located on 19th Avenue Southwest in Wilmer. I'm Jared Sebesta. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Time, Talent, Treasure Radio. We'll see you next time.
Securities offered through Avantax Investment Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Avantax Advisory Services. Insurance services offered through an Avantax affiliated insurance agency.